Welcome to this episode of The Path to Performance Excellence with mental performance coach Tommy Richardson.
The Breakfast of Champions. Many of you, particularly in my age bracket, saw that on Wheaties many years ago. But I want to share with you some thoughts today about performance breakfast, okay? And what's important as a number one critical factor in us being able to improve our performance, our speaking, our selling, and our leadership. Now, some of you have some ideas about that. You may say preparation, in particular the speaking area. You may have delivery, you may have voice. You may have a number of things that might be critical. But I want to share with you a number one thing that I've found throughout the years is good feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Now, let's think just a minute about that concept, because feedback comes in three different areas: positive feedback, constructive feedback, and no feedback. Now, if you look at all three of those, you can see there's a great place for two of the three, okay? Or two of the three have some value. The one with no feedback is the worst feedback that anybody can receive, because they don't know how they're doing. There's no motivation to continue. There's no motivation to get better at what they're doing. But if we can give feedback that is positive, that is constructive, that is encouraging them to do something that they're already doing good and make it better, something that they can build on, what a motivational factor that is to point out to somebody the positive feedback that will encourage them to continue on. Secondly is what we call constructive feedback. Not criticism, but constructive. It's feedback that you would give that would help somebody else improve. It might be in speaking, for example, to suggest that they get eye contact with each individual and hold that for a longer period of time. That's constructive, so they can learn from that. They can grow in that process. And then I mentioned no feedback, which is the worst at all. There's something that I have done throughout the years, and I've taught this, because sometimes we do not have that opportunity to feedback. When I go in to speak to a group, I try to find 2 to 3 people, and I'll give them a little 3x5 card similar to this. And I'll introduce myself, and I'm saying I'm going to be speaking. Would you point out 1 or 2 things that I do that are positive, that you thought that would add it to my talk? And then would you also write below that 2 or 3 things that I need to do to improve on? And I would get their okay to do that. And then after the presentation, I would stop by and thank them again for doing that. And I would take what they had shared with me from their viewpoint. I'd ask a little bit about them so I knew somewhere where they were coming from, how much experience they've had. But this gave me valuable feedback on a regular basis. Toastmasters International, one of the things that's made them the strongest nonprofit educational organization in the world is they have feedback. Every meeting, when you're on your feet, you give a talk, you both get written and oral feedback, as well as table topics, as well as other things that you do in that meeting. Makes it very, very powerful way to get feedback on a regular basis. If you don't know about Toastmasters, I suggest you go to your telephone book. Thousands of clubs all over the world. We're in over 100 countries of the world now. So, and your location would have a Toastmaster club. If you have help with that, give me a call, or I'll be glad to help you on how you can get some feedback. CoachTom.net, CoachTom.net, if you have any questions at all about feedback and the importance of it.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Path to Performance Excellence with Tommy Richardson. For more great information, visit Tommy's website at CoachTom.net.